Good day, everybody. I apologize for being 9 minutes late today. Goodness gracious, I guess the time ran away again. I am Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought, number 1365. My morsels of a thought are set to inspire you to have a great day with knowing the right thing to do, which is called wisdom, and doing it is called virtue. So we have people's wisdom here. We've got billions of people who have lived lives and learned some form of wisdom or not. But from those billions, we have millions, and then we have hundreds of thousands that have been written for us to learn from. So today we have Victoria Rader's The Law of Progress. From the Law of Progress, we can learn start where you are and progress. Your purpose on this planet is for your soul to progress. If you are misaligned, if your soul progression is not the main guiding force, you'll be misaligned from connection to the true source, capital T, capital S. This will distract you from your purpose, taking you away from your inner guided sacred me, M-E, capital E, and for energy, and putting stress on all your outside material pursuits where you are ruled by the ego, sacred me parts of you. Ego scared me parts of you. Let's try that one more time. This will distract you from your purpose if your soul is misaligned. Okay. This will distract you from your purpose, taking you away from your inner guided sacred me and putting stress on all your outside material pursuits where you are ruled by the ego scared me parts of you. You need to allow for your practical financial progress to support the progression of your soul. Wow. I'm going to read that again. It's boldface. You need to allow for your financial you need to allow for your practical financial progress to support the progression of your soul. The practical application of the law of progress is to start where you are and move in the direction of your dreams. Every day you start, every moment you start where you are. Don't let any guilt for what you haven't done weigh you down and prevent you from starting anew. Sometimes, due to unresolved subconscious paradigms, we seem to need permission to move forward. This is your permission. You are free to start. That's Vika Rader. Stop getting ready to get ready. If you're already in the middle of something, keep progressing. Sometimes we tell ourselves that if we progress, we'll be torn down. We have witnessed great civilizations come to demise and have deeply suppressed fear that our efforts will face the same destiny of destruction. Acknowledge those self-sabotaging voices of your inner programs and your ego objectively and send them love. Our ego covers many layers and dimensions, expanding through your genetic history as well as the history of this planet and even the cosmos. What she says is true. We're part of the cosmos. We're part of the universe. We're part of our genetic history. Every little bit of us comes from something way along the lines. We've got thousands of ancestors. Think of that. So our genetic history comes coded in our DNA, deoxyribonucleic acids. Anyway, as well as the history of this planet and even the cosmos. That voice, which is undermining all your efforts, isn't your sacred me voice. It's the result of you and your ancestors' experiences held in your body. Your me physical part of you is afraid that if your me spiritual self progresses, it will result in the destruction of your body. This is where the notion of dust to dust comes from. Turning to dust is true for our bodies, it is not true for our spirit. To progress, we need to learn we need to hear the spirit louder than the flesh. Because look at our genetic history is we are the only one in flesh right now. Everybody else in our genetic history has died. So they've had a destruction of their flesh. So the scared me is what we're saying is what Vika's saying is that the scared me is a part of where the body went into demise in all of our ancestors' DNA history codes. And what we have now is our flesh. We have to have our soul, living soul, speak louder than the scared me parts of us that say, okay, we're going to lead to destruction. No, we're not going to lead to destruction. Our body is here. Okay? When you, and then Vika says, when you understand where the sabotaging programs are coming from, which is what I just said here, when you understand where the sabotaging programs are coming from, rather than trying to diminish or suppress them with fear, send love to them. Turn your body with immense gratitude and show the eternity of each molecule that it can never be destroyed. Look at that. Because every molecule of us has existed since the beginning of time. It just congealed to form us, our current body. Our genetic codes have come to us from our ancestors, and their molecules are dispersed. They haven't been destroyed, they have all been transformed and still exist in this cosmos. Maybe a molecule went to the moon or to another star. It can travel through space. There are molecules in space, by the way. Okay, every atom, says Vika, every atom of your body is eternal, just like what I just said, just like your spirit. We are the stuff of the stars, like just what I was saying. It is impossible to eliminate energy. It is merely transmuted. That is what Vika says. It's exactly right. Vika says, I want you to accept that as per our previous law of preparedness, you are ready as you are right now, just as you will never be truly ready. Let me explain that a little more. She goes on. There's never the perfect time to do something. There's only this perfect moment. Be at peace with not being fully ready. You can always learn to do better. You can always do it better next time, but it's so much easier to improve through practice rather than theory. Life is experiential. You progress through action, not thinking about taking action. If you're waiting for your ability to overcome your programming to improve, you're robbing yourself of that vulnerable first step. Being ready does not mean that you are ready to lead, serve, or solve problems for everyone. It means that you are ready to lead someone in something that you are only one or a few steps ahead of them. That step might be a spiritual or practical millimeter of knowledge, skills, or mindset. It doesn't matter. You're still ahead of them, which means you're ready to serve others. You might not be ready to impact those who are ahead of you on similar concepts, but you're always ready for something and someone, and you're never ready for everyone. This is perfectly okay. It's just how it's meant to be. Unfortunately, we tend to assume that being ready means we have to be ready for everyone and everything. Not true. You, as you are now, are ready for the ones you are ready for. The feeling of not being ready is similar to that of not quite being there. almost never arriving through fulfillment. Something I see a lot in my clients is that the more abundant they become, the less prosperous they feel because prosperity and abundance are not at the same frequency. Energy moves in frequencies, waves move in frequencies. Abundance is the frequency of grateful awareness of your connection to the infinite source. The more grateful you are for what you already have, the more aware you become of new opportunities for expansion. Prosperity is your ability to manage expanding abundance. Insecurity in your prosperity arises out of a fear that you are not capable of being a good guardian of that abundance. This is where imposter syndrome kicks in. If you're already living at a lower frequency, the fear of losing everything takes hold. And then you do lose everything because that fear becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Remember, you can never own anything. You are merely caring for it as long as it is in your possession. Remind yourself that you are merely only overseeing your possessions, and then remind yourself that you're not even doing that. We all have guardian angels guarding us. Your job is to be grateful for the privilege of witnessing abundance unfold. When your perspective shifts to the privilege of witnessing your abundance unfold, you attain a frequency that combines gratitude, prosperity, and abundance. You are progressing through the law of progress. Your ability to manage money also progresses and grows. Wow. There's boldface. As you grow with your feelings of prosperity, remember to focus on gratitude as well as how abundant you truly are. As you grow with your feelings of prosperity, remember to focus on gratitude as well as how abundant you truly are. Think of progression as expanding in all directions of your life through gratitude and joy. You can claim joy right now and move forward by appreciating the abundance around you. Guess what? I started with coffee. I have a sign in my kitchen that says, Love begins with coffee. So after my first cup of water, I drink some coffee, and after a few minutes, I start to feel love, appreciation, gratitude. I have a roof over my head. I have my limbs. There are people who have prosthetics. I have my eyesight. I have my sense of hearing. I have my lips to speak words. I have my teeth to chew. I can chew bubble gum if I want to. I have my skin to protect my organs. My skin is in good condition. I have my body. My body can walk around by itself. In my case, without the need of an electric wheel, wheelchair or walking assisted tools. I have a refrigerator. I have food inside. I don't have to worry too much about getting good food. I have running water. I have a place to shower that's my very own. I have things that keep me supplied. I have some money. I have abundance. My appreciation begins in the morning as soon as I get up. I woke up. I'm on a nice bed. I have my support. My emotional support comes in four forms, in physical four forms. Cats. Action steps. Action steps. Action steps. Action steps. Action steps. Okay. So Number one, to move forward, you need to be very clear as to where you start. If you have not done so yet financially, today is a day for you to set a very clear starting point. Look at the starting point that you just started, right? Create a map of your financial holdings, every asset and every debt. Ooh, I've got to do that. Ying has to do that. Make it visual. Draw it. See where you are. Then draw another map of where you want to be going. Add in the law of discernment and do this for every area of your life. Oh my gosh. Look at the size of this book and then look at the how how complex it is to do the homework in this book. You will find your life changing when you do these things, these action steps. Take these steps. Number 2 of 3. Often we do not progress because we set a pace that is not maintainable long term. Choose an area in your life that you want to improve. Commit to progressing in that area for 3 minutes, a minimum of 6 days a week. Take Sundays off. Spoiler, this is how I have written this and all of my other books. I commit to 3 minutes a day. True, some days the 3 minutes become an hour of even more. But on most days I ponder, I remember stories and more. But on excuse me, but on most days, wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh, but on most days I ponder. I remember stories and jot down ideas. I progress. Don't do what you can get and hold my marker in the same place. That's not progressing. Hold the marker and move it. But on most days, I ponder, I remember stories and jot down ideas. I progress. Find 3 minutes in your day to progress in what matters most to you. This is genius. Some authors can say to do 10 minutes a day, and sometimes it's too much for people like me. So the 3 minutes sounds like a great idea. I can do that. I can do this. Excuse me. Number 3, monitor your progress via tracking any of the laws we have covered so far. Evaluate how well you are progressing through the action steps. Progress is tracked through actions and implementation. Just like progress is the wisdom. Wisdom is knowing what to do. Virtue is doing it. Commit to doing at least one, progress is tracked through actions and implementation. Implementation is the virtue. Okay? Commit to doing at least one action step for each law prior to moving to the next law. Then go back through the book again and commit to the action steps that will serve you most. Information without implementation is brain candy. Information with implementation is a path to empowered freedom in all areas of your life, including your finances. Okay, so let me put in Ying's little addendum into each sentence in the last 2 sentences. Information without implementation is brain candy. In other words, wisdom without doing is brain candy. Information with implementation is a path to empowered freedom in all areas of your life, including your finances. In other words, the wisdom with the virtue of doing. The doing is the virtue. Implementation is doing, the doing. Implementation is the doing. That is the virtue. Virtue is a path to empowered freedom in all areas of your life, including your finances. Wisdom is knowing what to do. This is telling you what to do. Doing it, implementing these things, is virtue. So let's add virtue to our world by adding virtue to our own life. Activation. Read the activation below out loud and then close your eyes to feel a gentle shift. Use this activation whenever you are feeling stuck and need a bit of encouragement to move forward. I now understand, practice, and live the law of progress. I have neural pathways for moving forward without fear of failure and with the resilience of overcoming. As I move, I see progress over time. Things change in the most impactful way in the divine timing. I live in gratitude, looking forward to hope and back in hope and back in wisdom. I am making progress. I got this. I am me with a capital E energy. Prosper Me by Victoria Rader. The 35 Universal Laws to Make Money Work for You. The international best-selling Me series. Okay. Old Kinderhook.